Премьера второго фильма «Борат» состоялась. Это тот случай, когда критика в адрес создателя летела задолго до собственного поката.
Его кинокартина
Премьера второго фильма «Борат» состоялась, но это тот случай, когда...
It is no secret that today a certain part of Kazakh society is under the strong informational influence of various world centers of power. It is possible that this is why some of the younger generation is beginning to form a false idea about the positive processes that are beginning to take place in our country. There is no doubt that elements of the so-called external soft power play a certain negative role in this. This force in the modern world acquires various hybrid forms, which in turn does not allow not to only identify it in a timely but also to find ways to neutralize it.
Kazakhstan suffers from a reputation that undermines which project is soft power, and the main reasons are corruption and insufficient government policies. As a prime example, in terms of reducing climate change, is the main theme of Expo 2017 in Astana. As a rule, the country is damaged by a major corruption scandal.
Now we are going to talk about attributes of soft power, and if we start with educational tools of soft power, as a general trend under the educational term, it is understood that 2020 in Kazakhstan celebrated a big holiday under the auspices of the 175th anniversary of the birth of an outstanding poet, philosopher, composer, educator, thinker, public figure, founder of Kazakh written literature, and the first classic Abay Kunanbayevka. And this is a great pride for both for our country and for all Kazakh people. And also it is worth noting on the birthday of Abay Kunanbayev, all famous persons launched the international challenge Poems of Abay in different foreign languages.
Я с удовольствием принимаю эстафету прочтения стихов по случаю 175-летия великого казахского мыслителя и поэта Абая.
Think of honor. Strive to learn.
Домбыраға қол соқпа, шымырлатып бір-бірлеп жүрегім.
In the framework of the cultural attributes of Kazakhstan soft power, it should be noted the creation of national political body, the Assembly of People of Kazakhstan in 1995 with the initiative of our Elbasy, and the main goal is to ensure the social and political harmony in our country, and moreover, the political body is considered like a unique organization on the world.
Aymanbek Zikhanov for Roses.
Бронзовый призер, представитель Казахстана, Денис
Казахстан, я поздравляю вас с Днем Независимости. Это все для нашей Родины. Мы сила, вместе мы сила.
Казахстанская шахматистка Динара Садвакасова на прошедшем чемпионате мира, который впервые проходил на африканском континенте и собрал сильнейших шахматистов из 92 стран, стала победительницей.
Наверное, горячие поздравления плавательной общественности Дмитрию Баландину. Вот это да!
Now we want to continue with tourism, and there are steppes and lakes of central Kazakhstan included the UNESCO World Heritage List. There are foothills and mountains of the east and southeast, which in terms of varied landscapes, flora and fauna can easily be compared with Alps region, and this is the coast of Caspian Sea, the largest inland water body in the world. There are deserts of the southwest of Kazakhstan capable of impressing the most sophisticated lovers of water tourism, and there are the forests around the Baravoy Lake in the north of the country, and much more. We realized that there are many examples of potential soft power of our country related to the tourism, and also the city of Turkestan, the spiritual center of Turkish civilization, now are developing to be the center of tourism in Central Asia.
Now, into the 21st century, especially 2020, is a more successful year for our Kazakhstan's film industry due to the Kazakh film that have been screened in all over the world. For example, Kazakh-Japanese films named Konez Nature's The Road of Time, directed by Yerlan Nurmuhammedov and Liza Takeba. This film has been shown in Japanese cities, and another film is Tamiriz, which directed by Akan Satayev. Also, it translated into several foreign languages and represented into several foreign countries.
Now we are going to continue with Kazakhstan's business and innovations tools of soft power. And first, Yermek Batır. Yermek Batır is the first Kazakh comic book to be sold in the US on Amazon site. It is published by friends Madibek Musabekov and Begzat Mirzahmetov, who founded the Tengri Comics publishing agency a year ago. The next Ticketon, the main objective of Ticketon was to turn a startup into a large-scale business, which would then be representative and work for the countries of Central Asia. And the BTS Education. BTS Digital creates digital products and services to help people in their everyday lives. Then the ITU ecosystem includes projects for community life, business and government. Then iTube. iTube is a national video hosting service that brings together exclusive content from the best producers, as well as TV, entertainment and information shows and the user videos. A monthly site is visited by 2 million people, of which more than 91% residents of Kazakhstan. And the IQ Messenger is a digital platform with great technological possibilities. The idea of such platforms was born 10 years ago, and since then many products have appeared on the market, and after all, it is convenient to have one application like IT Messenger with many different services inside it.
So let's talk about the diplomatic initiatives of Kazakhstan as a tool of soft power. Today our country is known in the international arena like an active fighter for the ideas of nuclear disarmament, and we have earned authority in the global context. Many of the ideas by our Yelbasi formed the basis of official statements in the UN documents. Another important event is a ministerial debate named the Building Regional Partnership in Afghanistan and Central Asia, which was in 19th of January. Another interesting event is the Caspian issue, which was in Aktau, named the 5th Summit of the Caspian States. It's marked with the signing of Convention of Legal States of Caspian Sea, which describes the main activities of participations. Also, an important event was the Astana process to resolve the situation in Syria. To date, 11 rounds have taken place in Astana format, and which made it possible to overcome significant barriers between the Syrian government and the Syrian armed opposition.
Как таковой, какой-то концепции мягких силы в Казахстане в настоящее время, я считаю, что нету. У нас есть концепция внешней политики, Но это сильно отличается от концепции мягкой силы. Мы пока не имеем четкого видения, как продвигать свой язык, культуру, кино, литературу, креативную индустрию, то есть всю нашу такую духовную силу, духовные именно наши составляющие за рубежом. Если честно, наше правительство, оно больше сконцентрировано на внутренней политике, на решении внутренних проблем, на решении наших экономических, социальных, политических больше проблем. Сейчас пока Казахстан четко позицию по мягкой силе, особенно правительство, не ставит. Хотя частично эту роль выполняет Министерство иностранных дел через свои посольства, но тем не менее это больше направлено на налаживание двусторонних, многосторонних отношений между странами, экономических, культурных, сотрудничества, там, обмен. Но какой-то вот именно концепция, к примеру, на примере, который есть у Южной Кореи, халю, то есть у них, к примеру, это концепция мягкой силы, то есть это у них прям есть агентство, которое занимается этим продвижением. У нас как таковой нету. Проблем очень много. Мы даже свои культурные продукты не можем продвинуть на нашем внутреннем рынке. То есть у нас в стране многие наши продукты, имеется в виду киноиндустрии, кино наша, литература, наша музыка, даже та же народная музыка, там, да, там, наши оркестры, оно не так популярно. То есть оно не имеет какой-то внутренней силы. И, соответственно, мы должны сделать то, чтобы оно, первое, было популярно внутри страны. Конечно, сейчас у нас есть такой момент. Сейчас наш культурный продукт, наш человеческий капитал, наши представители креативной культуры продвигаются в России. Тот же там Скриптонит, тот же, к примеру, там Иманбек, ну, есть такие, но это единичный случай. Там тот же Димаш, это единичный случай. А нам нужно иметь большую концепцию. И я считаю, что у нас очень, как бы, вся мягкая сила, это составляет в большей степени культурные продукты. Это кино, это музыка, это мультфильмы даже, это контент такой культурный, ну, в большей степени литература, это мода, это даже косметика, ну, к примеру, там у южнокорейцев это же тоже мягкая сила, туризм, это тоже очень большая мягкая сила. Но это больше такое культурное, такое как бы не навязывание, а культурное вот это вот проникновение. Например, у нас же популярны там турецкие сериалы, корейские сериалы, там дорамы, и люди у нас все актеров знают. И там, ну вот это вот есть и мягкая сила. Поэтому Казахстану нужно понять, у Казахстана есть перспективы, у Казахстана очень богатая культура, даже те же национальные инструменты, там хобыз, домбра и наши песни, это все можно продвигать на мировом уровне. Почему? Потому что сейчас есть потребность в естественности, то есть вот этой вот уникальности, вот этому самобытности народа. И эти вещи очень много можно показать. И поэтому национальная одежда там, с элементами нашего орнамента, пиджаки, не знаю, там, брюки, не знаю, там, какие-то колориты, это все можно продвигать. То есть одежда, мода, литература, кино особенно мультфильм, особенно с учетом того, что сейчас YouTube очень сильно развит. Это все можно продвигать контентом. Хорошо. И тот же туризм, к примеру, язык, хотя бы там на уровне Центральной Азии уже. То есть это все, конечно, продукты, и здесь нужно очень целенаправленно работать. Пока просто мы сконцентрированы на решении внутренних наших проблем. Мы как таковой о влиянии даже в Центральной Азии мы не задумываемся. На самом деле, как бы это тоже должно хотя бы через наши диаспоры уже реализовываться. У нас очень большая представительная диаспора. И через хотя бы диаспоры нужно это все хорошо продвигать.
Hi guys. So the questions are, I chose Kazakhstan to study because I wanted to discover something I didn't knew about cultural things or country I wasn't aware of. Yes, I was very satisfied by life in Kazakhstan. I like the atmosphere in general, and the everyday life was good here. What I liked the most about Kazakhstan was, I think, the state of mind of people in general. They were quite welcoming for foreigners, and yeah, that's the thing I liked the most. Main problem I faced was administrative problems. Like it was hard to find the right papers, and I think we always have to work on this in order to know who's the right person to contact, to speak with, to deal with, and that was the main problem. For me, I was a foreign student there, so the things that should be improved, I think, for foreigners was to create more association or thing like this, which can allow foreigners to do some activities, some hobbies and things like this more easily, because it was quite hard to do this kind of things. I think soft power of Kazakhstan is quite weak, because in Europe, for instance, in France, because few people know things about Kazakhstan, and usually when they hear Kazakhstan, sometimes they're mistaken with other countries. They don't know a lot of things and they think it's war there. So yeah, soft power in Kazakhstan in France is quite weak. Yeah. Nice. But so Kazakhstan should attract foreigners by working on their soft power. I think could be a very good idea, like to do some advertisement or thing like this about their country in order to be known, like just to be known, because they have a lot of good things to show to the world, like a big culture, landscapes, cities, things like this, and they can only gain on the international scene in order to be more known. That's all. Thank you.
For a complete study of our topic, we conducted a survey, Kazakhstan in your view. In our survey, 72 respondents participated, and 75% of them were citizens of Kazakhstan, and the remaining 25% were foreign citizens. In the first question, we asked what Kazakh films foreigners know, and more were answered by Tamiris and Borat. At this point, I would like to note that the Americans often replied that they know the film Borat. Also, it is not a Kazakh film.
And regarding to the Kazakh answers to the first question, the most relevant answers were Tamiris, Raujirek Mambala, Kazakh's Business, Rikitir, and The Road to Mother.
In the second question, the foreigners answered that they knew Dimash, and according to the last news, they began to learn about Imambek.
It is obviously that the Kazakhs' answer to the second questions were Dimash, Roza Rymbayeva, Kairat Nurtas, Kryptonit, Muzart, Imambek, and Batarkhan Shukenov.
Of course, foreigners, when asked what sportsmen they know, answered that it's Gennady Golovkin.
To the third question about the sportsmen, the most popular answers of Kazakhs were Triple G, Denis Ten, Sergei Sapiev, and Elizabeth Tursunbayeva.
And if you talk about the opinion of foreign citizens about the development of Kazakh language, we noticed that many people think that Kazakh speaks more in Russian, and some who are aware of the changes in our language believe that the transition to the Latin alphabet is not necessary.
And what about the condition of Kazakh languages from the view of our citizenry? They answered that there is lack of proper popularization, and it becomes more popular to speak in Kazakh.
And if we talk about the opinion of foreign citizens about our culture, they said that our culture is similar to a mixture of Islamic and East Asian countries, and foreigners have a positive attitude to the culture of our country, and they know about Nowruz and our national cuisine and national customs.
And from the perspective of Kazakhs, to the culture condition, they say that the Kazakhstan emphasizes and they should appreciate the rich culture.
In the next question, we touched on the topic of education, and many foreigners evaluate education at the expense of familiar Kazakhs and write that they are quite smart. And the second important aspect is that foreigners think that education in public institutions is secondary and in private institutions it is better.
And to the sixth question, the Kazakhs answers that in the context of pandemic, the quality of education has deteriorated.
If you talk about the image of the country, foreigners at the expo had an impact on raising the image of our country, and the foreigners also suggested branding the Nowruz holiday, and many people also note our sporting achievements at the Olympics, which has helped Kazakhstan's recognition.
Of course, to the events that raise the image of Kazakhstan, the Kazakhs said first of all it's the Expo exhibition, and secondly it's the Grammy Awards, then it's the Asian Games, cultural and sport achievements, and the last one is the mediation of Kazakhstan and anti-nuclear policy of Kazakhstan.
If you talk about the achievement in the innovative and technological sphere, the foreigners say that the most important thing is the COVID vaccine. Also, the achievements of Baikonur space exploration and engineering are important points in this.
The answers of Kazakh citizens to the eighth question is the same of foreigners. Besides the Baikonur and COVID vaccine, include satellite into orbit and technology development.
Foreigners read information about Kazakhstan from YouTube and Kazakh news sites.
And the most relevant resources for the Kazakh citizenry are Tengri News, Kumash, Nargizet, and Instagram.
Now we want to continue with the perspectives of soft power and give our suggestions for the improvement of soft power. And we realized that there are many examples of the potential soft power of our country. Talented people in the field of culture, the city of Turkestan, the spiritual center of Turkic civilization, and the international program Bolashak, places included in the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, steppes, the Caspian Sea and Eurasian interaction, all it is part of Kazakhstan's image.
Here we talk about the perspectives of our native language. There are several sites like Soleki Z, Kozlanki Z, as well as many other sites. Also, we have institutions for the promotion of language, like Club for the Study of Kazakh Language in Kiev. Then we would like such language centers to function all over the world. For example, a Abay Center project, which will be a network of international and cultural and educational centers created by Kazakhstan. This model bases on the Confucius Institutes or Cervantes centers. The next idea, we can offer the grants for the postgraduate education and universities and scientific organizations of Kazakhstan. Organization and the launch of the program of student scientific exchanges, scientific internship, postdoctoral program in Kazakhstan called Farabi Exchange, based on the European program Erasmus and American Fulbright.
Considering the last news, Netflix recently bought the rights to show Kazakhstan's short film Shokan Oyanu. The project will be released under the Netflix original brands, and which means that the rental will be localized in dozens of languages of the world. And I would like Netflix Kazakhstan to appear in our country and function as an area for the release of domestic films at the world level. And if we talk about tourism as for creation of infrastructure in tourist places, in this regard the national company explains that work is already underway, as an example of Turkestan, and according to the plan by 2025 Kazakhstan's sites should become objects of attraction with high quality service and excellent infrastructure. And in recent years more than 1,000 jobs have been created in this direction, and the state actively supports new projects that will further revive the dynamically developing city.